David, he gives who's fit, who isn't, and who's likely to be available and unavailable this weekend?
We're still waiting on a few, to be honest. We've had a few knocks and niggles. Obviously Josh came off. He won't be available this weekend. And then squad-wise, we've had a few that have trained today. I've missed a bit of training this week, so we're still kind of, obviously I'm not going to overshare for obvious reasons in terms of showing my hand completely, but we've had to wrap a few up this week, as you naturally would expect. But training's been good, the ones that trained, and obviously we're looking for that reaction this weekend.
How is Josh, and how long do you expect him to be?
We don't know exactly, to put an exact time scale on it. It will be a few weeks, a significant period of time I would think, because of his injury, which is a blow. Obviously, it's on a personal level for Josh as well. He was doing really well. It comes at a time where he was playing really well. It's a real disappointment for him, but he's very much head down, desperate to get back and be working hard to do that. So he's very good that way, but it's a disappointment because he was playing really well. But he's going to be out for a few weeks anyway.
What is the injury?
Just an ankle injury. Well, he still has to. He's had scans. He's had things checked on it. I think you could tell as well. I did fear the worst when I said it straight after the game. When Josh stays down, he would have done something. And unfortunately, there does seem to be a bit of an issue in his ankle there that we'll have to investigate a little bit further. But as I say, it'll certainly keep him out for a few weeks.
There's been a few clubs making ventures into the transfer market because of injuries at this time of the year. Is that something that you envisage having to do because of those injuries, or is it just a case of you're looking anyway to try and bring one or two in?
Certainly looking anyway. I think I've been very consistent in what we've been talking about in terms of the recruitment strategy and what we want to do. Working hard to try and, if we can do things, if it can improve the group and it can be done, certainly would like to do that. In an ideal world, you want that done on day one. Every manager and coach around the country or all over the world would say the same thing. The earlier you can get players in, the better. It doesn't always work like that, especially in the January window as well. Sometimes you need to be a little bit reactive. And I think then it is a case of when you get to the end of the window, it's making sure your squad's stronger than when you started it. That is the key. And at this, we've still got 10 days or so. So I expect there to be movement. I expect there's still things to happen. The one thing I've been again very consistent with is the support for the Gordon family, and the hierarchy will certainly, they are looking to try and improve if we can.
Has there been moves made to bring players in, or is it just a case you're still analysing exactly what you need just now?
No, I think you're always looking. I think there's always contact. I think clearly I'm not going to get drawn on individuals. The players that are potentially playing for other clubs, that would be wholly disrespectful, but I think no, there is a lot of work going on. I say that all the time. Just when the window opens, that's when it becomes live and becomes public, a little bit more public, but the work's never really ending. We've always got areas and targets and objectives that we want to try and strengthen in the squad if we can, and also looking at your own group and making sure you protect that as well. So I think all in all, as I say, I do expect there to be things happening before the end, and that's pretty much where we are at the moment.
In terms of players going out, did the defeat on Saturday, does that make your mind up maybe about one or two players who maybe it is time to move on and maybe allow you to freshen up the squad?
No, not certainly. I think I actually said that after the game. The knee-jerk reaction to such a disappointing result. It wasn't down to any one individual, certainly not. As a collective, on the day we weren't at the level required for Hibernian Football Club, and we didn't get in the next round of the cup because of that. So certainly not on that case, on that front. The disappointment, the sting, the feeling straight after the game was clearly there for everyone to see, and rightly so. The benefits of football is you've got a chance to try and put that right. So my job now is to then remind the players, the same group of players, same squad, that went 5 games undefeated in the league, a draw either side of 3 straight wins not so long ago. So no, it's certainly not all panic stations and ripping everything up. I said that. But we know, I said what I said after the game, still stand by that for the levels we've set and the expectations of the football club have let everybody down, and that's something that only we can put right, and it's my responsibility to try and do that.
Would that be the message to the fans? Just don't panic and keep supporting. Great support again there on Saturday, but obviously there, you said the word sting. Everybody's felt that sting after the game. The supporters are absolutely unhappy at that as well, but you're asking them to keep the faith.
I don't think for 1 second you lose, they've ever lost faith. I think you see that with the support. Now, as I say, the standards we've set and the objectives of the football club, they've got a right to be frustrated, to be disappointed, to be angry with what we found ourselves in that last weekend, and that's natural. It's up to myself and up to the players to change that. As I say, because we're not in the Scottish Cup now, you can't dwell on that. You can't feel sorry for yourself. You need to move on quickly. Football doesn't give you the chance to feel sorry for yourself, and I think now, moving forward, there is zero distractions between now and the end of the season. The season is not now finished with nothing to play for. We've still got only main thing we can do now is try and finish as high up this league as we possibly can. We're in a good position to go and challenge up the way, which is the most important thing. And this weekend gives us a great chance to go and do that. The focus of the group won't change in terms of trying to catch that team in front of us. We're playing against a team directly below us. If you can go and win the game, you put distance between the people below you, but more importantly, if the team slip up above you, you can go above them. And that's all the players need at this moment in time, to keep pushing forward, to make sure we're going to end the season as strong as we possibly can, because there's still a lot can be achieved at this point.
Have you had a hard job to try and lift the players after the weekend? Or was Monday morning, for example, a bit low?
It was always going to be low, I think, myself included. I think that is important, that everybody's aware. You can't just, it's okay, just move on, just forget about it. Definitely not. It needs to be addressed. We addressed it Monday morning. One thing I think we all agreed was you can't then dwell on it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It comes a point where it's only us that can change it, and you need to move on at that point, but you don't just sweep it under the carpet. That's something that was addressed Monday morning, as you would expect for everybody. But there's a lot of experienced boys in the group that understand that sometimes they don't always get what you want in football. It's about how you react, and this is what it's up to us now. The spotlight's now on. How do Hibs react after a disappointing exit in the cup? And that's a challenge for everybody this weekend.
Who gives you a lift? Who's there to support you when you're down?
I think you always lean on people close to you, your family. I think the biggest one for me is my youngest daughter. She's not interested in football one bit. So as soon as I come in, I just need to be dad. And I think that's the challenge for me all the time, good, bad or indifferent, that she's very quick to remind you exactly who I am, which is her dad, and you always remember that. So that's very humbling, very quickly, when your daughter does that. But I think at the same time, it's my job. My job's to make sure we're in the best frame of mind, and my job's to get the players in the best frame of mind to go and win a game this Saturday. And that's, you can't, as I say, dwell on it. I think I've got very fortunate the staff round about me as well, that they know that I might be slightly grumpy, let's just say, on the Monday, but I'm allowed to be. They certainly don't. They have to stay consistent in the way that we are all the time, to make sure that you are moving on as quick as you possibly can, and you keep in that, and reminding the players of where we are right now. It's not doom and gloom, as I've just said. League form, very positive. Something I've reminded the players again. And if we can go and get 3 points this weekend at a real difficult place, against a good side that have recruited well, they've got young, exciting players, a lot of athleticism in the team now. Added to that, the winning mentality that they've got off the back of a couple of promotions. It makes it a difficult game. So under no illusions on that front, but definite opportunity for us.
What age is your daughter?
Youngest one, put me on the spot here, 6.
What's her name?
Ada.
Ada.
Ada, aye.
Falkirk, John McGlynn. You surprised at them beating Hearts last weekend?
Not surprised. I said nobody can be surprised. I think we went out the cup the same day. I think it can just show you that nobody, I say this all the time, no one's got the right to beat anybody. Watch the game. Obviously, Hearts got a goal cut off. Goals change games. The big moments in the game, but there's very little in the game at that point as well. So, and I just look at the games we played against Falkirk. Obviously, we won 3-0 the last time at home. It's got zero reflection on this game coming up. I think that's something that we're well aware of. We found ourselves 2-0 up in the first game at their place. Ended up drawing the game 2-2. So, they're a good side. We know that. They're where they are in the league for a reason. It's not as if we're only 5, 6, 7 games in now. We're a good chunk of the season in. Everyone's where they are on merit, and I think that's, as I say, why we know it's going to be a difficult game.
I think other than Martin O'Neill at the moment, John's the oldest manager in the Premiership. I think he's 64, and here he is being linked with bigger jobs. He's done just an incredible job, even at Wraith Rovers, and then go to Falkirk and taking them through. Is that experience? Does that tell us that management isn't just about a young man's game now?
Definitely not just about a young man's game, definitely not. It's experience, his knowledge within the game is clear for everybody to see, and his record, as you just touched on there, the job he's done, back-to-back promotions, and then at this moment in time sitting in the top 6 in the Premier League, first time we ask him, shows you the job that's been done there. And that doesn't happen by accident as well. That's hard work on the training pitch. You can see they're very well coached, and as you say, very experienced, no Scottish football inside out, and that's a challenge for everybody this weekend for us. And I've got no surprises that he's been linked with other jobs because of how good a job he's done.